All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to the pilot episode of the Trainers Lounge, a show where we sit back, relax, and talk about anything and everything about L&D. I'm your host, Kevin, and welcome po again to our show. And today we're going to have an exciting topic for those na interested or who wants to be an L&D professional in the near future. So what we're going to talk today in this show is what is L&D and how you can get into it. All right. So joining us today is a very special friend of mine, and he he's just an epitome of being an L&D professional. And later on, we'll introduce him and we'll talk about some questions that you might have when it comes to the L&D industry. But before that, don't forget to like our video. Don't forget to follow our page, CLDP Philippines, and also Circle Logical Group. You can find us on Facebook. Our videos will be uploaded to YouTube as well, so you can check those out. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us, and support us. All in all, thank you so much for that. All right, and by the way, guys, don't be shy. Okay. So our guest for today is Mr. Jeffrey Garcia. He is a learning and development professional for more than 20 years with experience in training design and delivery, project management, and leadership. He is also a certified learning and development professional under the GSDC or Global Skills Development Council. Ayan. So please, let's all welcome Mr. Jeff Garcia. Sir Jeff,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good afternoon,
Ayun!
everyone. Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat and welcome to our pilot episode. Kahit hindi ako pilot.
Oo nga naman, oo nga naman. No.
Magandang hapon sa mga L&D professionals na nakikinig sa atin and those that would like to be L&D professionals in the future.
Yes, and this topic of ours is saktong-sakto and perfect para sa mga, well, not just for those who are entering the business but also for those who are yet to understand fully what the industry is all about,
Correct.
di ba?
Hindi lang yung mga pumapasok, yung mga nagtra-transition and maybe yung katulad ko na matagal na sa L&D pero alam mo yun, sa sobrang tagal mo minsan, you need to parang have a refresher on what you're doing.
Oo
So,
nga naman.
it's a good discussion.
Oo, it's always nice to learn pa rin, 'di ba? Kahit na matagal ka na sa industry. And it's also nice to look back at the basics, ika nga, just to make sure na, uy, nasa tamang lugar pa ba ako? Am I still doing the right thing? Am I still in
True.
the right track? Yun.
That's
All right, so Sir Jeff, today we're just going to talk about some questions that we have or some things na possible na magkaroon ng insight ang ating mga viewers or for those who want to enter the industry. Ayan. So,
see.
well, let's get into it. So, again, what is LND? Ano nga ba ang LND pag sinabi natin yung two letters na yon?
Sige. So ano lang, a brief backgrounder lang of me no para
Sure.
maniwala yung mga nanonood sa iyo
Oo
na
nga.
karapat dapat ako dito kahit hindi ako expert no. Personally kasi I don't like using the word expert Pero I've been in the L&D industry for more than 20 years. I've done training design and delivery, project management and tawag dito leadership, no? Nag-lead na rin ako ng teams. So I started my learning and development journey, corporate learning and development sa BPO. So I started in the BPO and then offshoring, then outsourcing. I was part of a mergers and acquisitions firm and then eventually went local for a local company. And around 6 or 7 years ago, I decided to go freelance. So now I have my own practice as an instructional designer. Behind that, I am also a college lecturer. So I was a college lecturer for almost a decade at the SOFA Design Institute. It's the premier fashion design and interior design college in the country. And I also taught as a college lecturer at iAcademy. So kung makikita nila in my experience, sa pag-uusapan din natin ngayon, Kevin, no, closely related yung experience mo sa classroom and sa L&D. Although extremely different, pero closely related siya. So really, L&D is a good venue then for our educators na maybe are, looking for another venue to hone their skills. No? But going back to your question, what is L&D? No? If we look at L&D talaga, it's two important words, learning and development.
Yun.
Learning focusing on training, no? Especially at work. No? When we say kasi training, it's the acquisition of skill. So skill ang itinuturo natin dito sa ating mga learners na nasa workforce. And then the development part is also our task where we develop the current skills and competencies of our learners para ma-address yung mga business gaps or pwedeng future needs of the company. No? I always say nga for L&D people, ano tayo we also future-proof our companies. No? Siguro yung mga L&D personnel natin dito or L&D professionals na nakikinig, alam natin kung gaano kahirap yung trabaho natin. But if we really take a look at it, no, tayo yung arm ng company na nag-future-proof ng business. We future-proof our businesses by preparing our colleagues, no, or our learners for things that are happening or are going to happen in the future, no.
And Sir Jeff, speaking of future proofing, no, kasi the word itself, development, well, bigay din ako ng background ko. Well,
Okay.
I graduated with a bachelor's degree in secondary education. So by profession, I started out as a teacher, and yung development na yan, isa sa mga
Yan, hi sa mga learners no na 100% pumasa. Good job sa inyo. Isa sa mga importanteng bagay kasi na kailangan natin ding maintindihan and kailangan din nating tulungan yung ating mga partners in the business to understand is that L&D is not we are not a group of magicians. Hindi tayo yung mga magikero na
Oo.
sasabihan ng boss na may problema, solusyonan nyo.
Solusyonan nyo. Oo, yun nga. Yun, isa rin yun sa
Tayo
mga
yun.
mahirap di ba?
Correct, no? So parang training is not a magic pill
Mhm.
na makakatanggal ng lahat ng problema ng isang organization, and learning and development professionals are not magicians na pag may problema, tawagin ng L&D, pamatay sunog o linis ng kung ano mang
Pamatis.
gulo, tapos ano na, maayos na. Yung word
Oo,
na
yeah.
development
Yes, the
is very,
development word itself.
yun talaga.
Ika nga, di ba, sa classroom or in a traditional classroom setting, you have several grades for a student to grow, to become a competent adult. What more if you're outside and you still need to do that further, and hindi lang siya one time na your workers or your employees, your participants will quickly develop the skills needed or the targeted skills, ika nga. Ayan.
Correct. No? Kasi actually talaga, teaching adults or facilitating adult learning is a science in itself. No?
Mhm.
Parang katulad mo, I'm also an educator by education. I finished secondary education from UST. So, naiintindihan ko yung learning aspect niya. And nung pumasok ako sa L&D, it actually is you really get to understand na ang pagte-train at pagpa-facilitate ng courses ay isang science in itself. And
Mhm.
hindi lang naman 'yon yung facet ng L&D. Napakarami at
Oo.
napakalawak ng L&D na hindi lang siya nire-represent ng mga trainers na nagfo-floor, may floor hours or may production hours yung nasa harap nagtuturo, no? Hindi lang 'yon ang L&D. Napakalawak at napakadaming facets ng L&D.
So there are still things done in the background. I think
Yes.
well, also in my experience, I think when it comes to L&D or training in a corporate setting, uh hindi lang nga half yung pagfa-facilitate right? It doesn't
Correct.
even amount to half of the work
Correct.
needed.
Oo, actually yung pagtayo sa harapan ng klase, ako sa akin to disclaimer lang po baka sabihin niyo tagaan nyo sa bato lahat ng
Yeah.
sinasabi ko dito, no? Of course, most of what I am saying here is based on my experience and my learnings and what I continue to learn as an L&D practitioner, no? I agree with what you say, Kevin, no? Sa totoo lang, ang half ng battle ng isang L&D professional ay nasa likod ng classroom kapag binubuo ang isang learning intervention. Siguro yung kalahati nun is kapag i-deliver mo na. 'Di ba? May 100% pa nga. Kung tutuusin ng L&D, so sobra pa yan sa 100%. Kasi kahit ilang buwan nang nasa labas ng classroom, cargo mo pa din, no? Bumabalik at bumabalik sa L&D. So, I would like to say ganon kalaki ang scope ng responsibility ng L&D. And
Yes.
hindi lang siya yung facilitation side na nakikita ng mga learners kapag tumatayo tayo sa harapan ng training room.
Oh, Sir Jeff, if I were to ask you in one sentence, how would you describe L&D?
L&D.
Sige, yan.
L&D.
Q&A, parang ano tayo dito
Experience.
Q&A, no?
Sa experience ko, L&D, eto dun tayo sa totoo ha.
Sige.
L&D is fulfilling, but at some points, it is thankless. But it's very fulfilling because you directly impact the lives of your learners eh. And we're talking here about work, no? We're talking here about work. I've been in sessions where learners have told me na the session, and I'm not saying myself, ang sinasabi ko, the session has given them hope, the session has given them a new perspective with work. So yung mga ganon, it really is a lot of effort. It is a fulfilling job, or if it's a fulfilling passion, I would rather say passion than a job. But at some point, it's thankless. It's also stressful. It's also frustrating, you know. But at the end of the day, it's a job that affects people's lives at work. So when you get to that point and you see how you make an impact to your colleagues' lives or your learners' lives at work, and sometimes even outside of work sa trabaho, yeah, you'll get to love what you do.
Wow. Ganda naman nung quotation na yan. Siguro pwede natin i-quote yun para kay Sir Jeff. L&D is fulfilling but thankless.
Yes,
It may sound sad, pero actually it's more of a self-fulfillment ika nga, 'di ba?
Correct. Oo. And ano naman siya, kumbaga, we have kasi ako I'm a facilitator when I do my T3 sessions. Ayoko kasing nagsu-sugarcoat. Ayoko yung sasabihin ko na, "Uy, ang ganda-ganda. Lahat tayo mag-L&D, masaya sa L&D."
Oo.
Tapos pag nahirapan na, unti-unti na
Oo.
naglalagas, parang mga lamok na inisprayan ng baygon, nagbabagsakan na lang, no? So, I think we always have to set the right expectation na it is very fulfilling. It is life-changing for people and you yourself. Pero you also have to be aware that at some point it's thankless, at some point it's stressful.
Well, I
Pero
think I think any industry naman is ganun naman talaga, 'di ba? Alright.
Totoo yun.
Yun. So, next question naman natin. Since na-mention natin kanina na L&D revolves around teaching or developing people in a corporate setting or in a workplace setting, pag naman pinag-usapan natin sa isang company, what are the core functions of an L&D?
Okay. So, of course, wag na tayong lalayo. Yung unang dalawang term, no, which is
Learning
to facilitate learning and to help develop our human capital, no, yung human capital sa isang business, no, sa isang organization.
Yeah.
Na tayong yun yung primary natin. And when we say learning, yung learning na yon is not just standing in front of the classroom and facilitating. We're talking about analysis, assessment, finding gaps, creating courses, creating exercises, delivering the course, assessing the learners. Pagkatapos mong assess yung learners, i-check mo pa yung quality pag alis. So kumbaga, it's a really long process. But all of that also contributes to other organizational functions, no? Like for example, a good training or a good L&D organization or a learning and development program attracts and retains talent, top talent, no? Especially for Gen Z. May mga studies na nagsasabi na ang mga Gen Z ngayon, yung bagong workforce na pumapasok, isa sa mga unang tinitingnan nila is the learning and development program ng isang organization for them to decide kung magsistay sila doon. Engagement is also one of the functions of L&D, no? To motivate and engage current employees, no? Yung mga taong feeling nila na sa stagnant na sila sa trabaho nila, or they want to see other things, no, or other possibilities in their career na pwedeng i-offer ng organization. So doon pumapasok si L&D. May motivation din, may engagement. On the other side, ang learning and development then also creates or helps rather create an organizational culture, no, with an organization's values, vision, and mission, no. So ang L&D din ang arm para mabuo, no, ang isang organizational culture. And of course, branding din, no? Employee branding, nandun din. Of course, building quality, compliance. So if you take a look at it, no, ang core function talaga ng L&D na learning and development encompasses almost all business units. Almost all functional business units sa isang organization.
So is it safe to say na if you have a company or if you have a workplace, L&D should be there even if it's on its minimum form, parang ganun?
even on its bare minimum,
Oo, no?
a company should at least have an L&D professional, or at least kung hindi kaya, have a plan to
Mm.
engage providers. Because the only way a business can survive the future is to really develop their learners. Kasi kapag wala kang L&D department or at least engagement in L&D, yung organization nagiging silo siya. So kung ano lang yung alam mo ngayon, no?
Mhm, mhm.
Of course, you have the option of the internet, research and all that. But then again, hindi lahat ng nakukuha sa internet totoo. No? Hindi naman yan dahil nakita mo sa Facebook ay totoo na. And of course, there is a science to learning. So doon pumapasok yung value ng isang learning and development team. Or kung mag-engage kayo ng isang credible na learning and development provider.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, I think I've read upon yung Gen Z workforce, and yun nga, they look forward to what they can achieve in the company. That's why they ask.
Yes.
Actually, I think I remember. Kabilang pa ba ako sa Gen Z? Hindi na. I think hindi na. Pero ayun.
Ako naman Gen Z millennials.
Or millennials yan. Let's say millennials na
doon.
rin. Sama na rin natin. Ako, millennials na ako eh. What do you call this? I remember back then when I was applying for jobs then, I would also ask that, nung ano pa pala to, nung I was still a teacher, I would ask the school na, do you have plans or calendars for seminars? Yan. So back then, I didn't think about it na it's an L&D. Kasi wala pa akong alam sa L&D at that time. Although, I'm aware that there are trainings happening in the workplace, no? Pero,
Inset,
oo.
service training,
Pero,
pagbakasyon.
actually, that's it. That's the only the experience
Only
that I've
one,
had
actually.
is inset o kaya yung sa mga, I've also had BPO din kasi experiences. So yun, yung ituturo sa'yo or ititrain ka with the account, and that's it. But when I became a professional teacher, ayun, I would find myself asking, ano po yung mga plans ninyo for the teachers? Do we conduct, or does the school conduct seminars, or pinapadala ba sila sa training? So back then, I didn't had an idea na yun na pala yung L&D industry, or parang tikim na yun ng what L&D can do for a company, di ba?
Yun na yun.
Oo, yun na yun.
Opportunity lang to learn. And ano lang, just to share for the L&D practitioners na nandito, alam na natin to siguro, no, na that the Gen Z workforce actually lasts for just 3 years in a company. And isa, sabi nga ni Kevin, and totoo yun, na isa sa mga tinitingnan ng Gen Z is their ability to grow within that company. Kapag wala yun, yung growth, yung happiness, and sense of purpose and sense of belongingness in the company, tapos nga a good learning and development program, that's when our Gen Z workers leave, no? Yung workforce natin na Gen Z. Kaya it's really, it is an investment in the company to set up a learning and development program and a learning and development department to really attract and retain top talent.
All right. And since we've talked about yung core functions niya, punta naman tayo dun sa benefits. So once a company has, or siguro sabihin na natin a company has a good L&D department, or kahit even yung bare, ano yung mga benefits, what benefits can the company have from an L&D perspective, ika nga?
Of course, aside from the obvious, again, babalik tayo sa dalawang
Yeah,
salita. Learning and development, no? Again, kung ano yung pangangailangan ng organization, pangangailangan ng business, for whatever business climate, na-address ng mabilis and na-address internally. Napapasok din dito yung forecasting, no? Na-foresee, may foresight yung organization kung ano yung mga pangangailangan para the business can survive in any climate. Ang siguro, ang pinakamagandang example is yung nakaraang taon, 2020. 2020 was the year of human resource. And that's, L&D then is part of human resource. Kung natatandaan mo, Kevin, nagulat ang lahat with the pandemic.
Oh my God. Who doesn't?
Sa mga stressful na tao last time ay ang ating human resources team, yung ating human capital team. Kasi no one was prepared for this. Sabi nga nung isang kaibigan ko na taga World Health, nag-uusap kami, it's actually a surprise. No? Who would have thought na we would live through a pandemic? And kung makikita nyo last year, no? Doon talaga lumitaw lahat ng kahinaan ng isang organization. How prepared are they for the unprepared, no? Which is the pandemic. And dito nag-scramble bigla and nakita yung pangangailangan ng human capital and your L&D team na i-prepare, i-adjust, i-prepare primarily yung inyong workforce to prepare them for the adjustment. Tulungan silang mag-adjust to working from home. Even I know of some companies that also included psychological, mental training as well to address the health needs, the mental health needs of their employees. So really ang benepisyo talaga ng L&D is foresight. It really is to future proof your business organization because without development, not a lot of organizations will be surviving the future. And I think a lot of organizations have learned last year.
And I want to touch then yung mental health kasi it also became a trend when the pandemic hit last year, di ba? Well, actually, it's started building up some, what do you call this? Some noise sa mga tao na, well, mental health is also important, parang ganon. But during the pandemic last year, nung talagang full-blown walang lalabas,
Oo.
it became, or the awareness of it skyrocketed, and napansin ko din that no one else in a company can provide services for that other than the L&D. Well, the HR department will help set that up. Pero yung kumbaga to communicate it, to teach the workers, to help them grow or adapt, falls on the L&D na rin di ba?
L&D in cooperation with, let's say, if you have a doctor, an on-site doctor, or an on-site psychologist. Kasi ito yung isa sa malaking questions on learning and development, Kevin. Parang ako kasi personally as an L&D professional, I believe na in the saying na if it doesn't mean that you can do it, you could. Dalawang bagay kasi ang pinag-uusapan dito is that yung expertise mo as a professional, of course you have to be an expert. Or at least you bring some form of expertise to something. And then also, the facilitation concept, the science behind learning. So it doesn't mean na, okay, expert ako sa mental health, ako'y doktor, ako'y psychologist, ako'y ganito, ako'y ganyan. I can teach. Not necessarily. Kasi ibang bagay yung learning.
Yes.
Ibang bagay yung pag-formulate ng learning programs. Ibang bagay din yung pag-deliver ng learning programs. Ibang bagay din yung pag-a-assess ng training effectiveness, ng training results. So, ito yung sinasabi ko na last year, nakita talaga natin na training professionals are needed. No? L&D professionals are needed kasi no one was ready for this. And kahit L&D professionals, I'm very sure yung mga L&D people natin na nakikinig, sila din napilitang paspasin yung kanilang adjustment sa situation. Kasi sila mismo ang mag-a-adjust ng mga tao sa organizations nila. So they had to be experts at something. And our experts naman had to also learn how to facilitate because or create programs. Because again, learning is a science. Training is an exact science in itself. No? So hindi lang siya basta dahil expert ako, tatayo ako sa harapan nyo. Tapos magsasalita na ako. Go na yon, training na yon.
Iba,
So,
no?
hindi siya ganun kadali.
Hirap. All right. So yeah, I think I agree with that one as well na knowing is different as well from teaching. Doesn't mean that you know it, doesn't mean that you are good at it. Ika nga. Doesn't mean that you can automatically
Correct.
transfer, impart, or teach it. Ika nga.
Correct. Dito din pumapasok din kasi yung challenge din sa mga L&D professionals natin na hindi rin naman ibig sabihin na marunong tayong mag-facilitate and naiintindihan natin yung science of learning. Pwede rin tayong mag-presenta as expert. So dalawang fields of knowledge talaga, if you want to be an L&D professional, ang kailangan nating i-juggle is the science of learning and yung actually yung expertise na dala mo.
I see. All right. Well, next naman, pag-usapan natin is, well, we've talked about the functions, we've talked about the benefits. Paano naman natin i-structure, no? What is there a certain structure needed for an L&D department to function in a company? Do we follow a certain set of rules, structure, or personnel?
Kasi ang structure ngayon ng L&D nag-evolve na no? Nung pumasok ako ng L&D, and siguro meron pa rin tayong mga organizations na centralized ang L&D department. So when we say centralized, may isang department mismo na gumagawa ng mga courses or in charge sa learning and development ng buong organization. So talagang meron kang structure. You have kung ano man yan. Kung meron kayong vice president of learning, tapos magta-transition yan sa senior manager, supervisor, and then your trainers, no? Or tapos kasama na din diyan pati yung mga nasa back end ng training, yung inyong instructional designers, curriculum designers, yung inyong mga training administrators or learning analysts. So yun yung centralized. Meron din naman tayong tinatawag na decentralized. Ito nangyari sa akin to nung paglabas ko na ng BPO, paalis na ako ng BPO. Nagsimula ng i-verticalize or i-vertical yung mga training departments. So, nung pumasok ako, isa lang yan, L&D. Nung palabas na ako, so sa bawat BPO, sa bawat account sa isang call center, nagkaroon sila ng parang sarili nilang training department. So may pagka-decentralized na hindi na siya nanggagaling sa isang tao. So kumbaga, let's say ako, nasa manufacturing ako, I can be the L&D person for that manufacturing department. So may decentralization. Kasi ang ibig sabihin nun, specialty ko talaga. Alam ko yung ginagawa ko. Alam ko yung ituturo. Alam ko yung kailangan because I know the job. I belong in the same department. No? So may
You can
decent-
function on your own na rin, ika nga.
Correct. No? So parang sarili kang department, training department, pero specific for that job function or that functional unit. There's also what we call a matrix, no? Dito pumapasok yung meron kang in charge sa paggawa ng curriculum, pero meron kang mga sanga-sanga sa bawat functional departments. And yung mga sanga-sangang mo na yon are nagtatrabaho sa department na yon, so alam nila. So alam nila ito ang kailangan nitong department at o sa finance kailangan ito, sa operations kailangan ganito, sa audit kailangan ganito. And then you come together as a team to form the courses. So meron din tayo yung parang naka-matrix or I think ang tawag doon is yung balanced na structure, no? Iba-ibang structure, iba-iba ang benefits sa bawat organization. It's just really finding the right balance and the right how do you say, the right output that you need for your organization.
All right, thank you so much for that. And actually, when I was nung bago ako, let's say, baguhan, nung bago ako sa industry na to, I can't help but compare, no? I can't help but compare yung classroom setting with the corporate training setup. So, para dun sa mga nalilito or at least medyo may agam-agam pa rin sa difference, how can we differentiate L&D to a traditional classroom?
Okay. So ito, kasi pareho naman tayong galing sa eskwelahan. Alam naman natin no, sa isang traditional classroom, papasok ang mga bata, walang alam, zero knowledge.
Mhm.
Ang konsepto natin ng tabula rasa, blank
Yes.
slate.
Actually,
So wala silang alam, yung teacher sa classroom, sila yung mag-fill in ng knowledge na yon na alam nila. And then eventually, nagde-develop yon, nagiging complex as you go through the levels, no? Grade 1, grade 2, hanggang grade 12, no? So hanggang sa graduate ka, masters, doctors, kung wala kang sawang mag-aral at nangongolekta ka ng diploma, hala, go. But when we talk about training, iba kasi ang usapan kapag ka-adults ang tinitrain mo, no? For those na nag-TT3 or alam na mag-train the trainer, of course, L&D people, we're all familiar with the principles of andragogy, no? Adult learning. So ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, hindi na bata yung pumapasok sa kwarto. So isa sa mga nakikita kong pinakamalaking difference is the learners themselves, no? Na ang isang learner, ang isang adult pag pumasok sa isang training room ay may dala-dala siyang sarili niyang experiences, no, na nakuha niya in years of working, personal life and whatnot. And as learning and development professionals, kailangan nating igalang and i-hold sacred yung learning na yon, yung experiences na yon ng mga tao. Isa rin sa differences talaga is again learners pa din, no, yung sa eskwelahan, pilit ang bata kasi papaluin ng nanay, papaluin ng tatay, ganon. Pag bumagsak,
oo naman.
uwiin ng cellphone, mga ganon. Sa matanda, hindi mo pwedeng gawin
Oo.
yun.
Parang,
Kasi ang gagawin mo sa matanda, papaluin mo. Baka bigwasan ka, no? Kasi ang point naman natin sa adults then is that adults will decide if they want to learn, no? Yung desisyon ng adult na matuto ay sa kanila manggagaling. Hindi mo sila pwedeng takutin, hindi mo sila pwedeng i-threaten kasi sila pa rin na magde-decide kung matututo sila. So kung titingnan natin yung kaibahan talaga, nakabase siya sa learner. And yun naman talaga sa learning and development, it's really learner-centered. Umiikot ang buhay natin sa learner and kung paano natin effectively matatransfer yung skills na kailangan natin para maigawa din nila or ma-implement nila immediately sa workplace or even sa personal life.
I see. All right. So, ayun, it's similar but again, I think it all boils down kung sino yung target participants mo, di ba? And with that, your assessment style, your teaching style as well, yung mga materials mo, even yung location and the time itself, nag-iiba lang. Pero, similar yet different.
Similar yet entirely different kasi nga
Oo.
lahat umiikot sa learner eh. Lahat umiikot sa learner. Kaya ano kung mapapansin mo Kevin, no, katulad natin ng mga nagturo tapos biglang nag-transition sa L&D, medyo mahirap yung transition kasi sa classroom ikaw ang Reyna,
Oo,
ikaw ang
oo, yeah, I experienced that before nga.
Pagdating sa training room, hindi ka makakaganon eh. Pag gumanon ka, marireklamo ka sa HR eh. Kinabukasan may memo ka na. No,
Yun
hindi ka
nga.
pwedeng mag-demand. Oo.
All right. Well, now, in terms of those naman na facilitating the learning in an L&D setup, who can become an L&D professional?
Eto, ano to eh, mahiwagang tanong to eh, no? Dati, sino ba ang pwedeng maging L&D? Pag teacher ka, may lamang ka kasi of course you have the
Oo.
you have the knowledge, no, kung paano magturo. Pero actually, sa totoo lang, anyone can become an L&D practitioner.
Mhm.
But of course, like any other job, merong mga requisite skills na kailangan bago ka pumasok, no, as an L&D practitioner or as an L&D professional. Of course, yung iyong facilitation skills, very important. Kailangan, kaya mong humarap sa mga tao, kaya mong mag-deliver at mag-facilitate ng learning. Yung iyong analytical skills, yung assessment skills, very important. Yung creativity mo nandyan sa paggawa mo ng learning materials mo and ng learning programs mo and even your activities. No? So maraming pwedeng lahat maging L&D, but as always, may mga requisite skills na kailangan para mag-succeed sa industry na to. Pero hindi ibig sabihin, kunyari, hindi ako mahiyain ako, hindi ako pwedeng mag-L&D. Marami kong kilala na nagsimulang mahiyain, nung nag-L&D, kumapalang muka. Kasi kahit pa paano,
Oo nga
alam
naman.
na,
Kailangan eh.
mahirap tumayo sa harapan ng isang klase tapos mahiyain ka.
Oo.
Everyone and anyone can. It's learning and development. So very important na marunong kang matuto and you have that capacity to learn. And of course, yung learning mindset, yung may learning culture ka sa sarili mo plus a growth mindset. Kasi sa L&D, hindi po pwedeng okay ka na eh. Hindi po pwedeng, ito na yung alam ko, 10
Yun na
years ko
yun.
nang
Oo.
na yun.
Hindi
Hindi
pwede.
po L&D yun. Kasi how can you help people future-proof their careers kung ikaw mismo, you're not even looking at the future. So, isa sa magandang talents or skill ng isang L&D practitioner is foresight. May
I see.
foresight siya and very analytical and observant.
Alright. So, kung i-sum up natin into 5 properties, what are the 5 properties that of a person should possess if they want to become an L&D professional?
Okay, sige. One day, sa akin to ha, hindi
Oh, yes,
kwento.
yes. It's sorry po. Personal lang. Hindi po to hindi po to nakasulat sa bato.
Ikot ako eh, di ba? Una is, you have to genuinely like people. Kailangan talaga gusto mo ng interaction sa tao. Second is you need to be observant. You have to know, you have to be observant of people, of relationships. Next is you have to have very good analytical skills because as L&D, we're presented with data. Ako, I hate math. I hate math with a passion.
Me too.
Kasi
I attest to that.
may parte ng puso ko na isinusumpa ang math. Pero pagpasok ko ng L&D, wala akong choice. I have to see numbers. It doesn't mean it's math, but I have to be very analytical.
It's still a part of it.
You have to be innovative as an L&D professional. What works in one batch may not work in the next batch. And siguro lastly is you have to really have a love of seeing people grow. Yung sa teaching, meron tayong sinasabi, Kevin, na the teaching is, sabi to ng friend ko na, kaklase ko ng college, na administrator na, sabi niya, teaching is the ministry of the left behind. No? Kasi bakit? Nagtuturo tayo, eventually gagraduate sila, makakalimutan tayo. So yung mindset dating din sa L&D, ako personally, yung mindset ko ganon. Everyone that's going to leave the training room may not even know me, may not even
After
say
a few while, di ba? Oo.
when we see each other, but that should be okay because ang goal mo talaga is you have to have a genuine concern for the future of your people and also the organization as well. So I think yun yung limang very important.
Ayan. So, disclaimer po ulit. Sir Jeff's 5 properties of an L&D professional. First, you have you have to love people. Second, you have to be analytic. Third, observant. Fourth, innovative. And fifth, have a passion for growth, whether it's your growth or other people's growth.
Correct. That's
At
true.
ganda naman nun. All right, next. Kung now we've talked about people or those who can become an L&D. What are some of the challenges that they can expect when entering this industry? Natawa na lang.
Ano,
Parang natakot ako na sa tawa mo.
tawa na lang ako. Ano, ito yung mga challenges. Ako, sa totoo lang, madami. Madami talaga. And sa bawat kumpanya kasi na pupuntahan mo, there are unique challenges to every organization that you will go through. Whether it's the nature of the organization or the nature of the people that you have to work with, the nature of the learners. Pero siguro kung ma-generalize ko, siguro una is, isa sa mga challenges talaga is sometimes people relations, especially with people that don't understand L&D. Yung learning, yung science ng learning, no? May mga leaders tayo in the company that of course we understand that they want results, but sometimes because they're too passionate, they want instant results. Yung bang humugot
Okay.
kayo ng resulta sa hangin. So you really have to have good people skills kasi you have to be able to get them on board and understand na hindi ganun yon. Hindi dahil sinabing kailangan, ganun-ganun na siya. Siguro din, isa sa mga challenges na may encounter talaga minsan is yung madadry up din yung well of creativity mo, yung innovation mo. Matutuyuan ka din talaga at some point. So kailangan nare-refuel mo yon, nare-replenish mo yon. Of course, kasama na yung long hours of work minsan, lalo na kung ang susunod na araw ay implementation na at delivery na ng iyong training course. Yan. So, yan yung mga challenges. Learning a new skill, learning data, learning a new science, yan. It's a skill kasi you have to learn, but it's also fulfilling, no? A good example lang na Kevin I wanted to say was, ngayon na instructional designer na ako, I've done courses for different parts of the world. I've done courses for the US, Canada, Australia, London, Dubai, and Lebanon. I've done courses for many industries. Gumawa na ako ng courses for medical billing, gumawa na ako ng course niyan. Gumawa na ako ng course for architecture, engineering, environmental planning. Gumawa na rin ako ng course for cannabis, cannabis business, US. Gumawa na akong course on finance.
Disclaimer po, hindi dito sa Pilipinas yan, ha?
Sa US. Sa US,
Sa US po yun. Baka bigla akong sugurin sa office.
Oo, baka bigla kayo mag-set up. Sa US lang legal
Sa
yun.
US lang po.
Event management, project management, Six Sigma,
Dami.
graphic design. Gumawa na ako ng course. Alam ko na ibang uri ng bumbilya, iba't ibang wattage. Gumawa rin ako ng course on beverage consultancy. Gumawa na ako ng course on whiskey, cigars, and rum. Gumawa na ako ng course para sa simbahan, sa ospital, sa retail. And all of those required me to learn something new. And that's what I enjoy. Mahirap siya kasi ito na naman tayo. So you have to start from scratch. But if you're like me na you enjoy learning other things, other industries, it's both a good thing and a bad thing. So yung pag-a-adjust, no, yung mabilisang pag-a-adjust sa pangangailangan, that can be a challenge for some people. That's why yung word na pag naririnig ng mga L&D people, medyo nanginginig sila, agile. Pero that's part of our culture now, yung kailangan we are agile.
Oo nga. Well, I can also attest dun sa problem na pagod siya. Like the long hours. When I was teaching, the typical setup is you have to teach for an hour, 45 minutes. Matagal na kung 1.5, di ba? And after that, okay, let's say nasunod-sunod nga yung klase mo, but you have breaks in between or you have time to prepare, and sometimes hindi naman lahat ng subjects na tuturo mo for the day is you actively teaching, right?
Correct.
Nung pumasok ako sa L&D, I've had this experience facilitating a communications training for 9 straight hours.
Correct. Totoo yan. 9 straight hours.
Yung the planning itself, yung nga, the planning itself na, oh my God, I have to cram how many pointers, how many lessons, how many things in just 9 hours. And then, ikaw nga, iisipin mo, parang bitin yung 9 hours while you're planning, no? And then once you do it, oh my God, hindi pa tapos. Nasa 3rd hour pa lang ako, pagod na ako. Things like that. So, it's one of the things na different nga when or if you don't have any background itself in teaching na something na mabibigla ka talaga.
Mabibigla ka talaga. Ito nga yung sabi ko din sa mga nagti-T3 ako, sabi ko, dapat kasi pag trainer ka, of course we have technology, no? But at the end of the day, kailangan kahit sumabog yung PowerPoint mo, sumabog yung laptop,
Kayang ituloy.
kaya mong ituloy. Kahit wala yung deck mo, dapat kaya mo yung ituloy. You know? So, yung naranasan ko yan. 8 hours in classroom, papasok ka pa ng maaga to prepare your stuff, tapos hindi ka rin makakaalis agad kasi magbibigay ka pa ng reports. Tapos yung klase mo, hating gabi, tapos mo alas 9 ng umaga,
Oo nga.
kapag gulanit ka na, yung mga ganun ba?
Ayun
Pero
pa, the working hours itself pala, no? Hindi lang siya naka-ano sa 8 to 5.
hindi siya nakaangkla sa 8 to 5. Hindi katulad sa teacher, pagkatapos ng teacher,
Pag nag-bell na, wala na. Well,
uwi na.
they have planning still, or we do
Oo.
still our lesson plans, but the teaching itself, dun na siya.
So, kumbaga, tawag dito, yung ano lang, physical, emotional, investment mo, nandun din sa
Right. Yun. And sa mga pumapasok naman or interested in joining this industry, sa teaching kasi, well, you have to be or you have to graduate a bachelor's degree, di ba? Paano naman sa L&D? Do I have a prerequisite that I need to finish first or achieve first? Things like that?
Some companies, alam ko, they require certain courses like education or psychology or human resources. More on the human side, no, yung facilitating side. Pero ako kasi personally, unless required ng isang organization, ako I don't see any required course, no? Kasi kunyari graduate ka ng engineering. Yun yung expertise mo. Ngayon, kung gusto mo maging L&D professional, magpapasok ka ngayon, matututo ka on the learning side, no? Yung science na ng learning doon napapasok.
How to teach,
Kaya, yung how to teach. Kasi nga, sa akin dalawang aspeto yan eh. Yung expertise na dala mo and yung science ng
delivery.
learning. So, of course ngayon, alam ko may mga courses na, may mga, hindi man courses na full-fledged na 4 years, meron ng mga short course on training design, may mga courses na on facilitation, and whatnot. And even internal companies, they offer T3s or train the trainers, lalo na doon sa mga members ng organization na that already have the expertise, kailangan na lang turuan kung paano magturo. So, unless required by ng isang organization, which is normally education, human resources, psychology, yung mga ganon, ako, I believe anyone can be, walang course na specific for L&D. It's actually the expertise that you bring and kung gaano ka galing matuto on the learning side.
I see. Alright. And for those na, yun nga, gustong pumasok dito sa industry na to, what are the things that they should look for? Kumbaga, ano yung first step? Or what should they do?
Okay. Sa ano to? Sa application ba to? Sa habang nag-a-apply ba sila or habang namimili na
No,
sila?
like entering the career force. Like he decided or she decided na gusto ko na maging L&D. What are the first things that they have to do?
Siguro sa akin, ganito. Ang una talaga kasi pag nag-train ka talaga or pag gusto mong mag-L&D, ganito, no? Tingnan natin sa application process. So, unang-una, definitely, interviews and all that. Asahan mo na may demo teaching yan. Magtuturo ka. Pagde-demo ka niyan. Or minsan, paggagawin ka ng course outline or paggagawin ka ng isang topic with limited slides. So for example, mo maging comms trainer. O sige, gumawa ka ng course or lesson na 15 slides maximum. Tapos i-deliver mo kinabukasan. Yun. So kadalasan yun yung ginagawa, no? Para makahanap ng trainer, no? So ano ba yung hinahana? Ano yung dapat mong siguro more than hanapin mo in an organization, kailangan pag pumasok ka, i-prepare mo na yung sarili mo for the learning and development role. So meaning, dapat may facilitation skills ka na. Maganda kung may training design courses ka na, mga short courses na nakukuha. There are a number of short courses on training design, facilitation na you can find online. No? Udemy offers them. There are also formal setups. Let's say, I know in LaSalle may mga ganong courses that would train you. Or even kunyari, in your own organization, gusto mong mag-transition to L&D, take a look. Ano yung mga openings, no? You can ask your L&D team, your trainers, how do I become part of the L&D team? Kasi dala mo na yung expertise mo eh, yung sa science na lang ang titingnan. if you have the experience in facilitating and training design, you can come in. Tapos yung expertise na din, yung technical expertise naman yung titingnan doon. Yung expertise mo on a specific field of knowledge na dala mo.
Okay, and in terms of development, what are the things na pwede nilang gawin or i-take or pag-aralan para bukod dun sa pagiging L&D, how can they grow pa to become good L&D professionals?
Okay. So dito na pumapasok yung of course, yung basics nga, yung facilitation skills, pero dito na rin papasok yung ibang allied sciences with L&D na kailangan. Like for example, if you want to be on the back end, kasi may mga trainers akong kilala na medyo napagod na yung facilitation, so gusto na nila sa back end.
Planning.
So sa training administration. So pwede kayong matuto ng data or training analyst, mga learning analyst. So data analytics, data visualization, kasi titignan nyo na ngayon eh. So pag nag-request na kayo ng training, kailangan nyo na to. Or kapag hinangapan na kayo ng ROI, pag nagde-deliver na kayo ng training effectiveness, dito na pumapasok yung data analysis nyo, data visualization, data storytelling para makuha yung buy-in ng leadership nyo. Kung gusto nyo naman sa back-end, you want to start designing programs, there's instructional design, there's curriculum design, no? And instructional design, malawak ang instructional design because it's both curriculum design and tech because there's a lot of tech involved, and there's also creatives in learning design and curriculum design as well. Of course, if you still want to be at the forefront, then you can go up the corporate ladder, training supervisor, manager, senior manager. But of course, remember lang na habang tumataas ang posisyon natin in the corporate world, nababawasan yung facilitation hours natin. So kung kayo yung tao na gustong-gusto yung nasa harapan ng tao, pag naging supervisor na kayo, medyo mawawala na yan. Pataas na yan ng pataas. Magta-transition na yan to people management. No? So there are really many ways to go into L&D. Kasi nga, hindi lang naman yung nagfa-facilitate ang L&D. There are people in the back end that compromise the entire L&D department of an organization.
And once you become an L&D, let's say nakapasok ka na sa industry, you're an L&D officer na, dun na lang ba? Or are there things that you can do to improve upon yourself? Things that you can do for yourself, ika nga, not for the training itself?
Oo. Definitely, kung nasa training ka, kung L&D practitioner ka na, aside from developing on the science of L&D, you can also start developing or focusing on your area of expertise. So ako, ang expertise ko is communication, soft skills, and customer experience. So, pinalalaki ko yung knowledge ko on that, on the communication side, the soft skills side, and the customer experience side. Kasi marami tayong training professionals din na nakakalimutan yung technical expertise na dala-dala nila. And that technical expertise also has to be developed. No, malaking chunk ng buhay natin as L&D professionals ang naka-devote no sa pag-i-improve ng technical knowledge natin. Not only our learning science knowledge, yung knowledge natin on facilitating and providing learning, no? Pero yung technical skill na dala natin. So, aside from that, i-develop nyo na. Alamin nyo na, ano ba yung technical skill na, kung engineering yan, then you should go into extensive studies on engineering para mapalakas yung technical skills nyo. Of course, not forgetting yung learning, yung skills naman sa learning sciences natin, no? Yung mga theories and all of that, mga numbers, yan, mga white papers, ayan. Actually, bago tayo nagsimula, nagda-download na ako ng mga white papers kasi ito na yung mga panahon ng white papers to see how trends are happening, ganun. So, wag nating kalimutan yung technical expertise natin.
Oh, and I think one of the ways that we can do that is also for us to attend training din, di ba? Like, it doesn't mean that you're a trainer. Hindi ka na, doon ka na. And also,
trainer ka, hindi ka na-attend ng training. No?
Even yung mga certifications lang di ba?
Oo, yung mga certifications, actually, dati, share ko lang ako yung mindset ko dati nung bago-bago pa akong trainer, hindi ko kailangan certification, okay lang yan. Kasi may trabaho naman ako hindi ko kailangan Pero yung certification kasi is a showing of you being skilled, no? Siya yung patunay na you are skilled on something. So, yung mga certifications, maraming training certifications na available abroad and here. Of course, yung CLDP, which I am certified. Merong iba na nasa ibang bansa on different facets of learning and development. Of course, yung international, medyo mahal. So, so kung may pera kayo, go.
Yeah, but it is needed, no, 'di ba? It's a necessity ka nga. All right.
It's a necessity. Kasi hindi forever mong masasabi or mapepresenta, lalo na kapag ka nag-private practice ka na, yung mga kliyente naghahanap yan ng expertise. Hindi mo naman masasabi na 22 years na po akong nagte-training, tapos doon lang. People will look for certification. So, kahit yung mga Udemy courses, Coursera course, sa Udemy nag-o-offer sila ng mga discounted courses,
Oh, yun.
LinkedIn Learning, kahit ganun, that actually helps.
Parang ano lang yan, window shopping. Tingin ka din ng mga discounts. Ika nga.
Correct. Pay ka ng mga discounts. So, imbis na mag-Lazada ka, kung L&D ka,
Yun na lang. Oo, yun na lang tignan mo, no?
ka mag-66.
I see. All right. Thank you for that insight. I guess some of the last questions that we have is L&D classroom oriented only. And so, masasabi ba natin na classroom lang siya, like sa teaching?
Hindi. So kung bago ka lang, definitely ang sagot hindi. Kung matagal ka na sa L&D, alam mo yan, we have our 70-20-10. 70% of adult learning happens outside of the classroom, mostly at work when they perform the task.
Yes.
20% of learning happens in your interactions, and only 10% of learning happens inside the classroom. No? Kaya pag nagti-T3 kayo, malalaman ninyo na ang adults hindi sila natututo ng rote memorization. It has to be problem-centered. So yun, hindi siya sa classroom learning lang nakukuha.
Oo, hindi lang siya nakaset up doon. And also, kapag ba L&D ako, do I stick to only one company or what are my options?
When you say stick to one company full-time sa isang company, of course kung full-time ka, pero you also have the option to go freelance. No?
Yun, oo.
So, ito na yan. Remember, the past few years are the years of, it's the year of the freelancer and temporary gig work. Like ako, I started 6-7 years ago as a freelancer. I never regretted my decision. You can go into private practice. You can go into consultancy. No? So there are many. Kung ayaw mo ng mga muhan tulad ko, pwede. Pero syempre, bago natin gawin yon, we have to be ready technically. Kasi syempre, ipe-present mo na yung sarili mo to the client as a consultant or as an expert.
But siguro, a piece of advice lang din, kung mag-freelance ka, probably try to develop yourself first, ika nga.
Correct. Ito yun, no? Kasi hindi to katulad ng, for example, mag-freelance virtual assistant ako. Okay na yun. Kasi virtual assistant, role, task, general task. Kasi you're presenting yourself as an L&D professional eh. You're presenting yourself as an expert, both technically and in the learning sciences. So kailangan pag lumabas ka talaga, you are able to back up your claims na you are an expert. Hindi po pwedeng sasabihin mo lang, I'm an L&D professional, tapos bahala na si Batman. Remember, we're talking here of learning and development.
Oh, hindi siya basta-basta na-offer lang na, I can teach, then freelance ka na.
Oo, tsaka ito pa pala yung isa na nakikita kong ginagawa ng ibang trainers is yung smile sheets nila, yung evaluation forms, siyempre tinatabi nila yung mga positive comments. So siyempre nakakatulong yon, but it doesn't mean that because you have a ton of positive comments, it means that you are an effective trainer or you are a technical expert. A positive comment on a smile sheet or an evaluation form does not necessarily equate itself to training effectiveness.
I see. All right. So, siguro, build yourself up before going into the freelance industry. Ika nga. All right.
Take as many experiences as you can.
Oh, probably that too. And I think this is the last question or last topic for discussion natin. Any tips or advice, like personal tips or advice for those going into the industry or those who are new to the industry?
Okay. Siguro for those who are new to the industry, since we are learning and development, huwag nating kakalimutan na tayo mismo kailangan nating matuto. We should also be facilitators of that learning to ourselves. Hindi natatapos ang pagiging L&D natin dahil tayo ay trainer na. Actually, the more is expected from us. No? Kailangan may foresight tayo as an L&D professional to prepare ourselves in the future. Kung hindi pa natin gusto ang tao, ayaw pa nating mag-facilitate, or kinakabahan pa tayo, confidence is an essential component of learning and development. No? But of course, aside from confidence, there should also be competence. Hindi po pwedeng tapang lang ng loob at kapal ng mukha at tibay ng sikmura. Hindi lang po pwedeng ganon. It should be confidence and competence
As well.
working together. to be a very good facilitator of learning. And of course, understand the science. Build yourself as a technical expert and understand the science because really, at the end of the day, it is a science more than anything else.
I see. All right. Well, thank you so much for dyan, Sir Jeff. And wow, yun nga, no? Kahit na nasa industry ka na, it's still nice to go and look back into the basics and understand. Ano nga ba itong pinasok natin? Or ano nga ba itong papasukin nating mga gustong pumasok into the L&D industry?
And that even for seasoned professionals, the yearly trends change. Nagbabago ang mga trends and sometimes it affects our baseline knowledge. So, hindi rin natin pwedeng sabihin kahit gano'n tayo katagal sa L&D, okay na tayo with what we learned. Because, again, experience can teach but also experience can only teach us so much.
Thank you for that insight nga naman. Well, we have some questions dito, Sir Jeff, coming from our audience. So let's have some a few minutes to address
Go ahead.
them. Let's choose one of here. Ayan, so sabi ni Grits Dalay. Ayan, I have a question po. Hope you could take time to answer if possible. What would be your advice to HR professionals who has been in other HR facets for years but wants to venture into L&D? What should we do to get a job in L&D? So eto siguro may experience na with HR pero hindi lang sa L&D.
May experience na siya in HR, so wala lang sa L&D. Siguro, Grits, kung employed ka pa, try to ask within your L&D department, what could be a good transition for you to be part of L&D rather than go out and apply for an L&D
Oo,
job.
nandun na rin naman siya di ba?
So, kasi kung makakakuha ka na for an L&D post, go. Kahit siguro kung willing ka, kasi I know of a lot of people na nagsha-shadow, yung mga internships, hindi naman siya bayad, pero dahil sa kagustuhan nila mag-transfer into
Yeah,
L&D.
there are things like that.
There are departments that offer internships, training assistants, and then eventually when you pass, let's say a final presentation, you can transition to L&D or a trainer certification. You go to a T3 session and then you go into a trainer certification. So kung na-employed ka na sa isang company, ask your L&D team, are there opportunities for you to learn L&D and even to shadow so that you can eventually transition into L&D? Kung wala ka naman sa isang department, kung hindi ka naman, anong tawag dito, kung hindi ka naman currently employed and you would like to transition into L&D, ito yung sinasabi ko na magandang may mentor. Kahit if you can find a
good
mentor
no?
that would be willing to invest their time on you to teach you the ropes, that would be good. No, of course you can learn from courses and all of that, but nothing beats actual experience. Kung may magme-mentor sa inyo, kung mayroong willing na mag-mentor sa inyo, then you find the mentor, learn, be a training assistant, kahit saling kit-kit lang sa mga training sessions.
But yeah, even the small things will lead up into greater things, ika nga, di ba?
Kahit saling kit-kit ka lang sa paggawa ng TNA at ng deck, okay lang yun.
True.
Yun yung ma-advise ko.
Ayan, so Grits, I hope you were able to catch that and hopefully we can welcome you in this industry, in this wonderful industry of ours. Ayan. Next, we also have one here coming from Miggy Ericta. So how do you know if a company has an excellent L&D department or setup siguro? And how do you measure it naman? Medyo tricky to.
Oo, medyo tricky to, no? Kasi kung outsider ka, hindi mo naman ma-measure yan. Kasi of course, the data is internal at hindi yan ilalabas sa'yo. No? But a good L&D department or a good organization has a robust L&D program. When we say robust, it offers learning for current needs and future needs. May foresight yung L&D department. Yung robust din yung training needs analysis nila and assessments, no? Active part sila ng planning for all business units and hindi lang sila yung lumilitaw namimigay ng training calendar or ng menu ng mga training programs at start of the year. Kasi may mga ganun akong alam.
Actually, yeah. There are
yung mga training booklet, menu, parang sa yung parang
gusto mo, parang ganun ang dating.
Sir, ito po ang menu, ano pong training. Although maganda yun, may mga off-the-cuff courses ka, pero a robust training or a robust learning and development program is something that is agile, that responds to the times and has foresight.
I see. Ayan. So, ayan, Maggie, I hope you were able to catch that. Siguro ano lang din, one way to measure it's to inquire. If bago ka sa company, no? I think there's nothing wrong with that naman no? If you're going into a
Yeah,
company.
even if you're applying, you
Oo,
can ask.
oo.
You can ask, can you tell me about your L&D program? Of
Oo.
course, definitely you'll get a generic answer kasi hindi mo naman makukuha yung totoo niyan habang nasa labas ka. But, good companies are willing to tell you their L&D programs. No? Kasi may mga kumpanya, we won't tell you until, when you get in, we'll show you our L&D program. But an organization that has a very good L&D program is not afraid to brag or
Showcase, oo.
showcase their program
I
to
see.
potential people.
Ayun. One here, sorry, one other thing here, question siya, or rather it's parang Mythbusters from Jester Biluan. A myth or a fact? Designing a training plan for every position should be the sole responsibility of the L&D department.
No, unless gusto ninyong mag-suicide lahat because the L&D person cannot be an
medyo,
expert on everything.
medyo dark naman. Pero yeah, I
So,
kind of get it.
kasi parang you cannot be an expert on everything. You will need the help of the people that are actually on the floor doing the job. No?
Mm-hmm.
Kailangan nyo ng tao. Kasi kung ikaw lang talaga, sa dami ng business units na yan at sa dami ng field of knowledge na yan, mababaliw ka ng very light. No? Kaya nga as learning development professionals, meron tayong mga areas of expertise. May technical knowledge tayong binubuo, no? Or meron tayong technical knowledge na binibuild. So, as a learning and development professional, if you are part of an organization, people skills.
People
You should know how to
skills.
network, cross-functional communication with other functional business units. Yung mga tipong tulungan